Hello guys, and this is writing a novel in 1 month. Today is day 24 and we have a lot to get through. I know I keep saying that, but we do actually have some stuff to get through today. First off, we've written around 2,600 words. I think it's 2,630. But yeah, it's around that mark. So tomorrow we should be almost at the end. We did wrap up the climax, which is amazing today. That means that we can lead into the resolution and sort of the falling pieces that will eventually enter book 2. Maybe, I don't know yet. What was so great about this climax is, so what I basically wrote was a combination of different stuff, but to fill you in and put you right into the deep end, the king has just died. Who has he died to, you may ask? The Forgotten Prince. Who's the Forgotten Prince? I'm still asking those same questions. Basically, the king has died. He was ruthless, he was mean, he was arrogant, and he was very bad of a king. And this new prince will take over as like the next king almost. So I really had to nail this landing, and I think I got it off pretty well. Now, if you know me, you know I have the Fool in the background. And what better than having the Fool predict the future within the book? Oh. So I think 2 days prior, I had the Fool over here, who's in my story, predict the future. He gave this dude 3 cards. The first one was the Hanged Man, the second was Death, and the third was the Tower. Now what I love about this is the Hanged Man and Death basically just mean like a sacrifice and then death, death to the sacrifice. The actual cool thing about this though is the Tower almost mimics my entire story. And I was researching this because I thought, wow, this actually resembles my story completely. And I have already planned out this story. I had this story planned day 1. So to understand that the Tower pretty much predicts the entire story was like, whoa, that's a bit trippy. But in my story, the main character becomes this god of storm. And in the Tower, the tarot card, throw it up on screen. On the Tower, there are 2 people falling. The tower is crumbling, it's exploding from the inside, blah, 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 blah. Main point of interest though, look up here, the lightning bolt. It strikes the crown. So my original plan for this story, all the way back on day 1, was that the Forgotten Prince will kill the king, who is his father, by the way. And this was supposed to be an emotional moment. But, you know, I kind of scrapped that because I thought, you know, it would be cooler if I changed the entire story. Because that's what the Fool does. His ability is literally to change the story. And he kind of did it. He's kind of changed the thoughts up here. So in having that, the king, instead of dying to the hands of the prince, there's a little fight that goes on from the prince. So there's Goldilocks, 3 bears situation with swords, right? But the main point of interest is that the king raises his sword. Hold on. This is a katana, so take it lightly. The main point of interest is the king raises his sword up, and guess what conducts? This is plastic, but metal. So the king gets fried from lightning, which symbolizes the Tower card. And I was like, oh my god, we need to do that. I wrote that in, and I really love it. Now, if you are watching this like way in the future, like 1 to 2 years later, the story most likely has changed. Even if you're watching this currently, like a week, a day, right now, 30 minutes ago, the story, I still have to change a lot of things in editing. So this entire sequence of events I named may or may not make it into the final draft. But this is the sequence of events that I really like. So it's a good chance that it will stay there once the story is out. But yeah, that's really all I have to show today. Now, someone did comment on my TikTok telling me to sort of explain the story, so I thought, you know what? We may as well give it a little hint. But that's being thrown right into the deep end. There's a lot of building right before this moment. This is when the tower crumbles, or the castle crumbles. And this is the pivotal moment. And going into the resolution, I have 1 more climax I want to finish, which means roughly maybe 3 more chapters. So there's really roughly about, since mainly all my chapters are around about 1,000 words to 1,500 words, there's really, considering 2 chapters, there's going to be like 2,000 more words, and then we're done, which I'm really excited for. because then we get a polish, and hopefully we can get it into a bare minimum draft 1 state right now. And then from the polished state, we start editing, and then draft 2, draft 3, blah, 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 all that stuff. But yeah, that is really all I have today. So, as always, don't point swords into the sky, or else the God of Thunder will rain it down upon you. Also, don't be in a castle while doing that, and also don't be mean to your son. Don't forget about him. That is all. You guys wouldn't understand that. Once you read the book, you will. Insider joke. That is all. Stay reading, stay writing, stay loving literature, and everything in between. That is it. See you tomorrow. And may or may not be done tomorrow. Depends on whether or not I write tonight. I write another chapter tonight. But that is all. Goodbye.